Hello and welcome to your 19th Django tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to go ahead and add pagination to our tutorial list series, list page I should say. This tutorial might be a little lengthy because we do have a lot of code to write. We have a lot of Python and HTML to write, so hope you guys can stick it out and you probably learn something. I'm going to show you a little more advanced pagination in Django. So let's get started. First things first, we're going for this look. Since we're using Bootstrap, we're going for this look right here. Hopefully we can come up with that. So in our tutorials, we're going to throw it down here at the bottom. So go over to your text editor in your views.py file. So let's open that up right here. Alright, so we're going for our tutorial series list inside here. So right below our query set here, we're going to go ahead and add some code. Or actually, before we even do that, we need access to Django's module that allows us to use pagination, and Django's module is called Paginator. Alright, so let's go below count here, and we'll just do from Django.core.paginator import, and we're going to import paginator right here, and we'll import empty page, and we'll import page not an integer. Okay, so down here where we were originally, let's go ahead and start writing. First we're going to create a variable, paginator, and we're going to set that to a class, so paginator class, and in there we want to go ahead and add our query set from up here. So your parentheses, and then we're going to do tutorials, and let's go ahead and first the next argument it takes is how many objects do we want to display per page. Let's just go with one for now, so it allows us to work with it, so we can see our pagination actually be displayed. We'll reset this to something more useful after we're done, but we want to be able to display it. Next thing we're going to do is create another variable. We're going to call it page, and we're going to use request.get, and we're going to say page. All right. So this method will get what page we're on. All right. Now we're going to create a try statement. So try, and then in here we're going to do items is equal to paginator.page, and then in there we're going to throw our page variable. Okay. And then accept, and we're going to say page not an integer, so we'll handle the page if it's not an integer, and we're just going to say items is equal to paginator dot page. So if we have an integer that is not, or a page that's not an integer, display the first page. Basically that's what we're doing there. Next we're going to do accept, and we're going to say empty page. So if it displays an empty page, we're going to handle that as well. So we're going to do items, and then paginator dot page, and then we're going to do paginator dot numPages, and what numPages actually counts how many pages we have. So in this case, if it's an empty page, it will give us the last page. All right. Now I like to extend this right here. You can find this right in Django's documentation, how to set this up. All right, but in past experiences when working with large amounts of data, your pagination, like say you have like 50 pages, well in this setup here it's going to show all 50 pages. So if we went to Bootstrap, it would show 1 through 50, and obviously that can be very ugly looking. So what we're going to go for is we're going to try to show 1 through, I guess, 5. We'll go for always show 1 through 5. So if we're actually on the 5th page, it's going to show 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we're only showing 5 pages at a time. That's what we're going for to look, so we can keep it cleaner. So let's go back into our views here, and we're just going to write a couple more lines of code. First, we're going to set index is equal to, and we're going to say items dot number minus 1. All right. So our index is going to be minus 1 of the actual page we're on. Then we're going to do max underscore index is equal to the length of paginator dot page range. All right. Then we're going to do start underscore index. So we're going to set our starting index, and that's going to be index minus 5 if index is greater or equal to 5, else we're going to use 0. All right. And then we got to set our end index. End index is equal to index plus 5 if index is less than or equal to max underscore index minus 5, else we're going to show max index. Yeah, max index. There we go. And we're going to set our page range. Page underscore range is equal to paginator. Oops, paginator dot page range. Then we're going to set our start index and our end index. There we go. So I'm just checking my code to make sure it looks right. Yeah, it looks right. All right, so now we got to add the context for page range down here. So we're going to go ahead and set that. We'll do page underscore range, page underscore range. There we go. All right. Now I want to go ahead and create a new template because we don't want to have to write we don't want to write the pagination HTML over and over again because obviously that would be stupid. Don't repeat yourself. So in your templates folder, right click there, and let's go ahead and create a new file. And let's go ahead and do pagination.html. Okay. In this new file, we're going to go ahead and write some code. Now this code is specific to Bootstrap. So if you're running a different CSS framework or you have your own CSS, then if you look at our code, you can probably figure it out. But also, if you look in Django's documentation, it basically breaks down how you should set up your pagination. All right. So let's go ahead and do curly brace percent symbol. And we're going to use an if statement. If items dot has other underscore pages. So if it has more than one page, we're going to go ahead and do something. If not, it's not going to display it. So let's just end this if so we don't forget about it. End if. All right. So in here, now we're going to write some HTML code. I'm trying to make this as painless as possible, but I don't know how else to do it without showing you. Div class, and then we're going to do call 6 offset 3, and then text center, and then pagination hyphen set. Alright, so inside there we're going to do nav. Now we're going to do the area hyphen label equals an empty string, and then we're going to do ul class pagination. Now I didn't make this HTML code up, but this is what is in Bootstrap, but we throw in our Django template codes to make it function properly. So now we're going to have an if statement. If items dot has underscore previous, alright, percent symbol curly brace, then we're going to leave that open because I think we need else statement. So li class equals page hyphen item. Then we'll do a tag class page link. Then we're going to do, let's just do this, href, and we're going to say question mark page. The question mark, if you've never seen it before, almost every website uses it. It basically says, hey, this is just going to be a parameter passed into our URL, and the question mark doesn't actually go to change the URL. All right, so it's just a parameter we're passing, and it will allow our pagination to work. So it's equal to, and then we'll do items dot previous underscore page underscore number. All right, and then we'll close that out and just put two carrots pointing that way. Then we got li closed out. I'm just going to clean this up to make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright, let's go ahead and do else statement. So if we don't have a previous item, then we need to do something. So we're going to use an else statement, and we're just going to say li class, and we're going to say page item is disabled. Alright, and then we're just going to go and add an a tag class, and in here we'll just say page link, and close that out. Bring these back together. Let's go ahead and make this cleaner, and we're gonna need a span inside here, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna use span, and then we're gonna do our carrots pointing that way again. Then we get end our if. Alright, and then the next one we're going to use a for statement. So let's go ahead and create that. For I in page number is equal to, screwed up. For I in page range. A little ahead of myself there. And we'll end our for down here, so don't forget that. And for. Alright, so in here we're going to need a if statement. So we're going to say if items dot number is equal to I, do something. What do we want it to do? Well, let's first set this up. Let's do I know I need an else statement, so we'll put that in, and then we need to end if. Now the cool part about this is once this is written, if you're using Bootstrap, you don't need to ever write it again. So I know it's kind of painful, but hey, It's a learning process. Li class page item, and then active. So if it's active, we're going to go ahead and show that a class, come on, class, and then we're going to do page link, then href, and this is going to be your pound sign. Now let's clean this up a little bit. First off, we need li there, so that means I gotta go ahead and put this in there. Just go ahead and move that down. This shouldn't have a caret. And we'll move this one down so it looks a little bit better. And then in here, this is going to be a variable of I. Then we need span for screen readers. Span class SR only for screen readers, and current, and our span closing out, and our li. So we got all that. That's how that should look there. Alright. So after that li class, we go inside our else, and then we're just going to do li class, and this is going to be page item, and we're going to do a class page link, and our href. Now we're going to go ahead and make the question mark again, and then page is equal to, and I'll show you what the question mark is actually doing once we have this set up. And I'll close out our a tag, and then in there it's going to take I, and that's all we need there. Alright, we did close out li, there we go. And then below the end if and the end for, we're going to have our next item. So we're almost done here. If items dot has underscore next. So if it has a next page, we're going to do something. Let's go ahead and throw in else. Obviously we're going to need that, because if it doesn't, we need to do something. So else, and then end if. Alright, let's go ahead and do li class, and then in here we're going to do page hyphen item, href, not yet. Let's go ahead and do class first. Class. In the class we're going to do page hyphen link, area label, is equal to next. Alright, and then our href here is going to be question mark page is equal to curly braces items dot next next underscore page underscore number, and then we're going to put our end our a tag, and then we're going to put carriage point in the opposite direction than we did last time, like that. Let's check and make sure I got it. Alright, so then our else statement, Our last one we're writing here is li class is equal to page hyphen item disable. So we're going to disable it. And then we need a class and page hyphen link. And then we're going to put a span in there. Span. And this is just going to be our carriage pointing another way. Whoops. Point, and close out our span. A, li, and if, ul, and f, and if. Okay, so that is the HTML, unless I screwed something up, and the code for a pagination. So now if you go and open up your tutorials directory and then tutorial series list, we're going to go ahead and add our pagination in there. So below the N4, we're going to use a new template tag we have not seen before, curly brace, percent symbol, and we're going to go ahead and include some HTML, pagination.html. Alright, curly brace, or percent symbol, then curly brace. Then one last thing we want to do is, as you see we have up here, for item in tutorials. Well, for item in tutorials is not going to work. So if we go and refresh our page, first off, let's do that. And I'll show you why. First off, we don't see pagination in here. Alright. So if we go back and change this, because in our views we take our tutorials query set, we put that into the paginator, and then we basically create a new context variable of items. Alright, so we need to put items in here. Items. Alright, put items in there, and then we're going to go back to our template, I'm sorry, in here, and let's change tutorials to items. Save that. Oops, wrong one. Back in here and refresh. Now you see we have one object being displayed to us, and then if we click through the links down here, we got another item shown to us. They're different, I believe. Well, yeah, they are, because I didn't see a video. And then up here is our question mark page 2. Page is equal to 2. So we're not technically changing the URL at all. We're just adding a parameter on the end. Alright, so 3, we see something different, Flask. And then the last one, introduction to Python. Alright, so there's the pagination set up in our Django project. As you can see, this turns gray when it has no pages to the left, and this should turn gray when it has no pages to the right. So that's what it looks like. Now you may be saying, well, I don't want to show one page. Alright, so come back into your views and go up to here, and we can say display 10. Alright, so we're going to 10 objects per page, and then we'll go back into our project and refresh. And of course my server is taking a little time to catch up. Again, refresh. There we go. Now we got our 4 objects that originally started with, and we're not displaying the pagination. So there you go. Now if you want to go ahead and use our pagination in other portions of your project, all you do is include, like we did here. You write include the pagination, and then in your for loop you just set up for item in items, and then the item temporary variable, I like to call it, is going to be item, and all the way through, and it will work flawlessly. Obviously you would have to add the the paginator to your view. Okay, so that's how you set up pagination in Django. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and move on. I think we'll create a new app to freshen things up. I know this isn't completely done, but we can come back and clean it up when we're done. Getting towards the end of our project here, we need to start moving along. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.